Find the next three terms of the geometric sequence. Now we're going with geometric here, and it starts at 27 and it's going downhill. 27, 9, 3, and then it goes on and on and on. So there's our story. Find the next three terms of the geometric sequence, 27, 9, 3, and on. Let's take a look at how this is working, all right? First of all, a geometric sequence is very simply that you're taking a number and you're dividing or you're multiplying. It's a multiplication situation. When we think of multiplication and it's getting smaller, we're saying we're multiplying by a fraction. All right, we're taking a fraction of that first number going here. So what we want to do is see what's the ratio going from 9 to 27. What's the ratio going from 3 to 9? And again, we're calling it geometric because that's what the problem of the day said it would be, all right? So we're going to go with geometric here, and the way it's working is doing just fine. So let's start out over here. We got 27. We have 9, we have 3, and I'm going to let you all think. What do you think? What's going on between for our next three numbers? Take a moment to think about that. And let's look at the ratio. What's going on here? The ratio from 9 to 27. That's what's important here, what geometric is all about. So let's pick it up at 9 over 27. That reduces to 1/3. And you know what? That 3 over 9 is also reducing to 1/3. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If we couldn't get that ratio of 1/3 each there, we wouldn't have a geometric sequence, all right? But we do have that going, and let's keep the pattern rolling. So what we're going to do, we're going to multiply. We multiplied 27 times a third, we get 9. We take 9 times a third, we get 3. Let's do the same thing again here. 3 times a third, you're down to 1, because 1/3 of 3 is 1. And keep going with that. What's a third of 1? How about it? 1/3, because that's what 1 times a third gives us. You get the idea? Now, what's a third times a third? Be careful. Got 3 times 3 on the denominators. It's going to give us 1/9. All right? So that ratio is what goes here. Now, I want to hit one more thing here. Didn't ask for that in the problem of the day, but I want to go ahead and give it while we've got your attention here. Let's talk about recursive formula and explicit formula. One of our callers earlier this week pulled that on me here. So let's take a look at that. The formulas start off very simply. For the recursive, is going to be this a sub n, which means the nth term of the sequence, which would be first, second, third, fourth, something like that. Fifth, seventh, you're at your sixth term here. So the a sub n equaling to, in this case, the ratio times the previous one. Remember, that's what we did. We multiplied each of these numbers by 1/3 to get us to the next value. So let's see. Our ratio here is 1/3. So our formula in recursive form is 1/3 times the, we'll use a capital A since we started there with it, and a capital N. There we go. These are the same N's. Let's just make that happen. Make a big old capital A right there for you. That's the recursive formula, all right? And R is the ratio we established here. The explicit form is A, that A sub n moment again, all right? And it's going to equal to your first A times the ratio to the n minus 1 power. And when explicit, we're usually thinking of getting, let's get it to just two variables, x and y. And you can reuse that to, in order to graph it, you could write this as y equals, our first A is, 27. And look what's going on with that. Our ratio is 1/3, and I'm going to put it in parentheses so we remember, and it's going to be the x minus 1. So in other words, if we're looking at our second term, that's going to be 2 minus 1, which is going to give us 1/3 times that, which is 9. Guess what? That's your second value for y. So there's your recursive, your explicit, okay? And there's the finishing of the sequence. So lots of little messages there, a little algebra, algebra 1, and a little algebra 2, and actually a lot of you probably in 6th grade figured that part out. Notice it's dividing by 3 or multiplying by 1/3 each time.
For more math help, visit TNLearn.org.